So welcome back to another in the series here of my built models. If you watched the first video, you would have seen a bit of an intro, but I'm going to throw this intro onto every video so you guys know what you're looking at. And basically, I'm going to be going over most of these models behind me. I completed before I had the YouTube channel started, so I'm going to be going through these bit by bit, quick little 5-minute videos, so you guys can take a look at the videos I've built. I'll talk about the model, some of the issues I had building it, how I liked or did not like that kit, and then some of the aftermarket, if there is any type of resin or aftermarket decals I used on the kit. And then at the very end, I'll throw up some pictures of the completed model so you guys can get a good view of what all these look like and what I went into, because there has been some interest. I've heard from you guys that you do want to see some more of these, and not all of them are going to have full up build logs. So you know, I can't do product reviews, I can't do anything on these ones that are built, so those are going to be included in these videos. So any of this series in this playlist, that's what it's going to be. So please don't come in here thinking you're going to get a full build log. So yeah, stay tuned. I will eventually have all of these videos done and I'll have them all released. So stay tuned. And as always, my name is Sean, and this is Sean's Aviation. And just before we get into the video, something I should have been doing a lot more up till now, and that is just asking you guys out there, if you enjoy what you're looking at, if you like what I'm doing, go down below, click on the like page, subscribe to my channel, and by all means, please click on that little notification bell. If that way you guys get alerted when I do get more new content up. I usually try to do the what's on my desk monthly update beginning of the month. And I usually try to get a video or a series of videos released by the 15th, the middle of the month. So whether that's going to be a tips and tricks video, or an aviation history video, or my time-lapse videos of the previous model builds that I've got done, or an air show video, or you know, some of my new product review videos I'll be doing. So I want to try to get something posted by the middle of the month. So please, if you're enjoying this, subscribe, like, and click that notification bell. Let's move on to the video. Back again, another one of my built model series, and this is going to be the fourth in my P-51 series. And this one's a bit of a different one. So this was a P-51B Sassy, the Tamiya 148, same as the one in the previous video. Link up here if you haven't seen it yet. So same as the previous video. However, I had built this one even longer ago. I probably built this back in 96 or 97, maybe 98. It was sort of one of the first kits that I really did in that let's go all out and make them look realistic phase. And it was the very first, and it did not turn out. It had a lot of problems. I kind of rushed through it. I learned a lot of techniques on how to make stuff look good, but I did them for the most part wrong on this kit, and it looked horrible. It ended up being put away, you know, with a lot of the first generation models, as I call them, which most of them have been you know, thrown out or broken or got rid of over the years. So that first generation, this is sort of the end of the first generation, I'd call it, and it was one of the few that I actually managed to save over the years, and I decided to do something a little different with it. And what I did was attempt to emulate a field modification. So I took that BC, which, as I said, had lots of issues. I mean, you can already see it's starting to show its age with some of the repairs I did. I was missing flaps, so I built the flaps using sheet styrene. This was done a while ago, so again, it doesn't really hold up to my modern skills. But anyways, I stripped it down. I filled in where the flaps would have been with stripped styrene. You already kind of see it's starting to fish mouth here and open up a little bit where the styrene is falling apart. I'll have to try to fix that. So there's a little bit of a split there and a split on this side. So I'll repair that a little later. But anyways, I used some extra landing gear and stuff from, because initially I had built this with the gear up. So I used the landing gear and bits from some other aircraft that I built with the gear up. I was able to scavenge enough pieces to put the landing gear back together. There's lots of issues in terms of surface finish because I had to strip the old paint, sand it down. A lot of the surface finish was lost. The kicker that I did was I made it effectively a twin seat P-51. If you haven't noticed it yet, there you go. So what I effectively did is I cut back to the rear turtle deck a little bit. So the turtle deck would normally have come up here, and you would have had the little window behind the cockpit on either side. And I basically cut back to that next former. I built myself a little bit of a bulkhead, and I cleaned up this area back here where it blended in. I grabbed a bubble canopy left over from one of the other kits and a resin P-51 seat. And then I basically filled in the side pieces so it would look like the side of the fuselage where the tank and radios would be. And I basically built a second cockpit. I actually used a whole second cockpit from another P-51, cut it down, grafted it in, built it all up. So if you look inside, it actually has, I just knocked one of the landing gear doors off. As I said, this was a very early attempt at scratch building. So when you look inside, you basically see a finished cockpit. There's floor, there's back, there's sidewalls, everything's in there. It looks the part. For colors, I did something that most likely would have been done in the field. The red is strictly insignia red. The blue, I took insignia blue, which is the same color that the roundels were painted with, and I just lightened it with some white, and I painted the airframe with that. So I was thinking in terms of what would an aircraft that was in the field, if they were modifying an aircraft in the field, what would they have to modify the aircraft with? And basically it's extra P-51 parts and colors that basically every unit would have, and then I painted it up and made it look like that. Now, if you guys are sitting there saying I am a complete crazy person for attempting this and, you know, not something you would normally have seen, well, I have information for you, and I'm going to look it up in this book. I have this great P-51 reference book. I've had this book, I mean, to be honest, I've had this book since I was a kid. I probably got this when I was in grade 3 or grade 4, so that's like, what, 25 years ago, if not longer. So, I mean, this is not a young book. It's held up quite well over the years, all things considered, with how long I've had it. And I'm just going to browse through here because there is a picture in this book of a field modified, and there we go. So you can see right there, this is my inspiration for this kit, right? That light blue, which is most likely insignia blue, lightened with white, you can see, right? There's the book, and there's what I did. So I did my best to replicate what I thought would be a cool paint scheme for a plane, so you can really start to see how, you know, it looks. So it's pretty cool. It is something that really existed, and I took it as inspiration and I made this up. It's not perfect. It's not a show winner. I would never really show this to anybody other than just having it sitting on my shelf because it looks like absolute crap. But for what it is, as a twin seat P-51, it makes, you know, it's a really cool look on my shelf. So that's Tamiya 1/48 scale P-51B/C modified and scratch built into a twin seat aircraft. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching, guys, and as always, if you are interested in any of the content you see, you can access my website at www.seans-aviation.com. You can see all the latest pictures of aircraft and museums and the build logs of all of my current models and past models on that site. And if you're interested in any of this content, please click the subscribe button here on YouTube to follow more. Thank you very much, and see you guys next time.